back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So some more fucking bad news, some more fucking death. This time it was a listener of the podcast. It was one of you. I received a message last night, so I'll just read it straight to you. He says this. Hey dude, I know you don't know me, but you just had a buddy of mine's, Alex's story on your podcast. I wanted to let you know he passed away from an overdose. He fucking loved that you put his story on and he would not stop talking about it. Glad someone immortalized at least a little of his bottomless pit of a soul. That was a funny little ending. So Alex, I did his story this past Friday. It was a great story too. If you haven't listened to it, just go back to last Friday's Fucked Up Friday. It was an all-timer. Ironically, it was about an overdose on heroin. I don't know how he passed away. His friend messaged me later saying it's not 100% an OD, but that's what it sort of looks like. And I haven't heard back from his friend again, so I'm just going off what I've been told. I knew eventually something like this would happen, but it's fucking crazy. I was only speaking to this Alex guy like 2 days ago. He said he was completely off the drugs, but was getting pretty heavy into the drinking. And he was asking me just the normal questions. What was the tipping point and all that sort of stuff. So we had a little bit of a back and forward. He was excited to get his story on the podcast. And fuck knows what happened in those 2 days. But it's no joke. This shit is no fucking joke. You're playing with fucking fire out there. It only takes one fucking bad decision. You've only got so many fucking chances. And you've got to have a sense of humor about how fucked up we all are. That's fine, but you need to survive. There is a fine line between comedy and fucking tragedy. And that fine line is death. If you die, it is no longer funny. I knew inevitably something of this sort was going to happen, and I didn't know how I was going to react to it. I've spoken to enough of you now to know that the struggle is real. And victory is not inevitable. It is not a foregone conclusion. So I received that message last night and it hit me. I didn't know Alex at all. I knew Alex from maybe half a dozen to a dozen messages back and forth and that story. I know that he spent a little bit of time in jail. I don't know what for. He mentioned that. I knew he was a junkie for a little while from the story. I knew he had spent a few years clean off the drugs and he had developed a little bit of a drinking problem. I knew he sold roofs for houses, and that's when he listened to the podcast. He said he spent a lot of time in cars, driving from job to job or whatever, and that's when he listened to this podcast. So that's all I knew about Alex, but it fucking hit. Because now it's just a sad story. You need to survive. There is no such thing as going out in a fucking blaze of glory. You have to fucking survive. You can't let the demons win. That's your fight. You're fighting the fucking demons. You're not fighting yourself. You are not your demons. You are the person who has to fight the demons. Everyone has the same battle. Some demons are bigger and scarier than other demons, but you only get given what you can overcome. So if your demon is a big, scary motherfucker, there is something in you that is strong enough to overcome that big, scary motherfucker. Otherwise, you would not have been presented with that demon. That is how it works. If you didn't have something inside you that could defeat this big scary demon, you would be gone already. It would have devoured you. But you're still here and you have an obligation to fight. Fucking hell, you just have to survive. Some people, and I would put myself in this category, have let the demons come so close to winning that they are only one bad decision away from death. The people who are in that category know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You've just got to survive. That's your obligation to the world. You have to fucking fight the demons and you have to survive. Otherwise, it's just a sad fucking story. And nobody likes a sad story. The world has enough sad stories, fucking tragedy, suffering. Give the world some fucking light. Enough is a fucking enough. Anyway, I'm going to dedicate this podcast to Alex. It was a pleasure to know you, even just for that little bit. You had a great sense of humor from what I could gather. Rest in peace, and I'll see you the fuck later.